Hey everyone, Warwick's here. So decided to move on from doing the pentatonics videos considering the issues I've had with them being blocked here on YouTube. So decided to kind of look at some other stuff, kind of going into back catalogs that I've been wanting to do videos on. Today, as you can see, we're going to do My Mother Told Me from VoicePlay featuring Jose Rosario Jr. And this is back from when JNone was a full-time member of VoicePlay with Nothing Else Matters that I did a video on. Just this past week, I decided I wanted to get into the JNone era of VoicePlay. And at the same time, I've also been kind of obsessed with Valhalla Calling Me, the trio done by Miracle of Sound, Peyton Parrish, and Eric Holloway, which I've been listening to kind of nonstop in some ways. Like, it's my kind of song that gets me pumped up and ready to go. And my little one loves it too, so that's a big bonus for me. And so I've kind of been getting back into Viking, Norse culture, mythology, and stuff like that. So I decided to do this. My Mother Told Me, of course, made famous by the show Vikings, which if you've never seen it, I recommend it. It's pretty good. So that's what I'm going to do today. Just kind of touch on all the itches that I've had over the last few days. Just try to maybe get them all out in one video. So for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. For those of you that are veterans of the channel, welcome back. It's good to see you again. For those of you that are new, my name is Corey. I know I go by Works on all the sites. That's my kind of quote online name, but my name is Corey. I'm not a professional musician. I'm just a guy who loves music. Has been doing this for, 8 months or so now, June of 2022 when I started these, and just have a lot of fun doing them. And I was in high school band. I was a percussionist, so obviously things like vocal percussion are going to be something I always kind of pay attention to. So Lane's always got my ears in these videos, but I'm also a lover of bass. You can tell by my voice, I tend to be lower in the register when I sing poorly in my car or in the shower. So obviously guys like Jeff and JNone at a baritone level are always of interest to me as well. All right, so the way that I structure my videos here is that I actually, if I've never seen these videos before, it's been a while since I've done one that I've actually watched, but because I've never seen this video before, I've actually been very patient and not digging into back catalogs when I'm not doing these videos because I want my reactions to be for you, with you guys. I watch these videos in full, so we're gonna watch this whole thing. You're gonna get my ugly mug and my just got back from a job interview shirt, get my full unfettered reaction, and then what we do afterwards is we go back down, and that's when I do kind of the analysis side of things, where I talk about the things that I think are really cool and really neat. So I do it a little bit differently than a lot of other reactors do, and I also try to add what I hope is interesting analysis. I'm not to the level of a guy like Peter Barber, who was actually the one that inspired me to do these videos, but I hope I'm interesting nonetheless. So without further ado, let's get into My Mother Told Me by VoicePlay featuring Jose Rosario Jr., who I do know from the Hoist the Colors, which is probably a video that I'll be doing soon-ish as well. So I do know of him and what he's capable of doing. But anyways, let's get into it.
My mother told me someday I will buy galley with good oars, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, hew many foemen, hew many foemen. My mother told me someday I will buy galley with good oars, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, hew many foemen, hew many foemen. My mother told me someday I will buy galley with good oars, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, hew many foemen, hew many foemen. told me someday I will buy a galley with good oars, sail to distant shores.
Stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer. Steady course to the haven.
Few many foemen,
Few many foemen.
Very cool. Oh, that's very cool. I'm somewhat familiar with the song. I've listened to like Peyton Parrish's version of it. That's more like the heavy metal rock. I think I kind of prefer that version because that's just, to me, feels a lot more like what modern Vikings would do. But overall, this is a very, very cool cover. I really like this. A lot of really interesting things were going on there. And yeah, I think this is really cool. Definitely appreciate that VoicePlay did this. Let's look at the credits real quick, because we always do. Of course, this was released April 23rd, so almost a year ago now, 2021. Let's see. Lane did the arrangements. Video was Lane. Ellie, of course, did virtual production, as he usually does. Makeup by Rick Underwood. Good job, Rick. Ed Boyer, of course, the mixer, longtime mixer. Kathy, of course, the production manager, Jeff's wife. Additional acting direction, Jose did that. That's interesting. And, of course, they filmed it at Patty Cake Productions. And then, of course, Ellie, tenor. JNone was the baritone. Jeff was bass. Lane is drum / baritone. And then featuring Jose Rosario, Julie Hewing, all the Foemen. They do this for almost all of their featured artists, and they've been doing it for a while. So I really, really like that they do that. So shout out to everyone behind the scenes that also made this happen, did all the behind the scenes work on this. I just think overall it has turned out really well. Let's see. That is a text from little brother. Possibility that we had an earthquake, according to him. Interesting. I'm on the East Coast of the US. We don't do earthquakes here. Anyways, let's get back into this video. For those of you that are just here for the reaction, that's it for you. Hope it was entertaining enough for you. For those of you that want to get back down and to break this down and get nerdy with it, let's get into doing that. So let's, I'm just going to crank this down just a smidge, and we're going to get into it.
My mother told me
Someday I will buy galley with good oars,
sail to distant shores.
So what wait.
Up on the prow, noble bark I steer. Steady course to the haven, hew many foemen, hew.
So we're gonna pause right there. Sorry. So what I really like is that each guy got a line at the beginning. And of course we get a good shot of all 5 of them in their makeup. The most interesting one to me was Lane. Obviously, we don't hear Lane singing a ton, and he doesn't get a ton of solo lines. He does every now and then. Like I know in, for example, the Moana mix, he did the Dwayne Johnson rap, so to speak. You know, Bruno, he did some lines as well, but you know, those are more like speak singing / almost borderline like speak rapping, you know, and rapping type stuff. And so we don't get a strong idea for him as a like full on like lead line singer. And so to get a line from him, I think is really interesting. We're going to come back right here real quick. I just want to listen to the really interesting intonation and the way that he approaches this line.
Sail to distant shores.
Sail to distant shores. So like he almost put kind of a take on a Nordish accent in a way. as someone that studied that area extensively in college, um, I've always kind of had an affinity for Norse culture. Um, there was some small vocal intonations that indicate that he was looking to uh, try and put a little bit of a spin on what he feels like American accented Norse or Norse accented English speaking would sound like. Uh, Not out of any sort of like way to poke fun, but it's just an interesting way for him to do the line. We'll listen to it one more time and then we'll go back.
Good oars.
Sail to distant shores.
Yeah, I just think it's really cool that they gave him a line that's completely isolated like that. It's just really, really cool. In terms of all the VoicePlay videos that I've done, very rare that he gets something like that that's completely isolated. Like I said, you think about the Moana medley. I haven't done a video on that, but I've listened to that one a lot because I have children. And, you know, obviously he's leading a line there, but he's got a lot of backup vocals and stuff like that. And like I said, he's more like speak singing type things. And then in Bruno, it's kind of the same thing where he's, you know, speak singing the Dolores part, but then he's got the backgrounds of everyone else going on. So this is the first time, at least in stuff that I've listened to so far, I've got a lot of catalog to get through, that he's been really isolated like this. And I think that's really, really cool.
Stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer.
Steady course to the haven. Hew many foemen, hew many foemen.
Real quick, a question. Let's start a conversation in the comments here. One of these 5 men come at you, weapons in hand, ready to fight. Who are you most afraid of? I'm picking Ellie. There's an intensity that he has in his eyes throughout this video that is kind of scary. Lane's the tallest. I think him and Jose are probably the tallest. But like, Ellie scares me the most of these 5 if they came at me with an axe, trying to kill me.
Many foemen, hew many foemen.
The dragon growl. Let's see if I can guess the note. Tell me if I'm wrong. Let's see. It's definitely a 1. I'm gonna say. Is it E1? That's my guess. E1.
My mother told me someday I will buy galley with good oars, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer.
Ooh, that run by Jeff. So another thing interesting, obviously, is we have the drumming sound in the background, and I don't know, it doesn't sound like Lane doing vocal percussion. It almost sounds like dude's kind of slapping like the table, that type of thing, which would make sense and still technically falls in the realm of acapella. So that Lane can kind of keep the singing going here. So I think that's what's going on with terms of like what is the background driver of this is that doom ga type rhythm, so that Lane can keep singing, which I find really, really interesting. But let's listen to Jeff and kind of he does like this big run, kind of starting up in the range a little bit, the quote bass range, and then he just kind of slides on down just like he's known to do, and he does a lot in things like Nothing Else Matters. Obviously, we know Jeff can do ridiculous things with his bass control, but let's listen to it one more time and really pay attention to Jeff.
Sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, hew many foemen, hew many foemen.
Again, Jeff with just that low dragon growl, so to speak, that he just allows himself to really just push and project, and then you have everything else. And I like this little like corner shots where they're all doing like the fist thing and stuff like that. Just really fun little ways to make the video a little bit more interesting to do in terms of the viewing experience. And I like this little decision by Jose right here to pull back the hood that he's wearing, which is really cool.
My mother told me someday I will buy galley with good horse, sail to distant shores.
Ooh, I love that little line of the chorus because it is so rich sounding. Like you have obviously Ellie at the very high end, Jeff at the very low end, but then Jose, Lane, and JNone all filling out that middle section in a way that is both blends extremely well, where I almost can't tell who's fitting where in terms of the harmony that they're doing, but they're the ones that really add that depth to it to make the chorus itself sound really, really sort of goosebump chilling, inducing type things. You know, I think it's really natural for people to kind of pick out the highest note and the lowest note because it's the thing that sounds the most impressive. But when it comes to really strong harmonies and really kind of helping you induce those goosebumps, yes, high notes can do that for those that really love high notes. Low notes do that for me all the freaking time. Just listen to any Jeff cover I've done, or even bass gang cover I've done. But to me, what truly makes those moments goosebump and chilling is just the middle voices adding that depth. And they go a little bit undervalued almost in some ways because they just are, to me, they are the key that makes these moments sound really good. Like, let's listen to this last 5 seconds real quick.
Doors, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, hew many foemen, hew many foemen.
And then we get our transition into good old Lane vocal percussion. So now we're getting into the section where VoicePlay is gone from the beginning and kind of been very true to the original spirit of the song. Obviously, it's been done in many, 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 many different ways. But the original kind of form of the song and kind of the idea behind it, and as it kind of was in Vikings, was that it's meant to be more like a slower paced reminder of, you know, what you are as a people culturally. And this is the section where VoicePlay kind of stayed in that first minute and a half, first half of the song, essentially. They stayed very true to that. And now we get the traditional VoicePlay variants where they start to add all these really creative thoughts and ideas to the song that really make it something special for VoicePlay. Really love that.
My mother told me someday I will buy.
Love that type of arranging. Lane does this a lot in his arrangements where he leaves a line unresolved and then they do this like staggering build layering and then they hit that final kind of note. So he does this a lot. It was done in Dragonborn Comes too, where it was, you know, the Dragonborn. And then Omar finally hit the last note that resolved it. Wait, let's go back and listen to it again here.
My mother told me someday I will buy galley with good eyes, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow.
Ooh. Something along those lines that he did. So what I really love about this is I can tell when Ellie's, like, it's really fun watching Ellie in these types of situations because his face and his whole head gets very intense looking. This happens in Hoist the Colors too. But something tells me that he's actually not doing anything that's intense. Like he's making it look a lot more intense than what it is actually vocally for him. Yes, he's getting into some high belts there, which I'm not even going to attempt to replicate under any circumstance because can't. But just really impressive high belt stuff there that he has this really fun skill there that allows him to just have this really intense look on his face when he's doing these pieces where the character portrayal rather that he's doing requires that type of intensity. Just really, really cool stuff.
Steer steady, steady, close to the haven.
Ooh, Jeff, I missed that in the first time.
Steady, close to the haven. You many foemen, you many foemen.
My mother told me someday I will buy a galley with good oars, sail to distant shores.
Stand up.
Ooh, you just carried that on. G1 is my guess on that note. If I'm wrong, tell me. I'm trying to get better at note identification particularly for basses. Because it's not a strong suit of mine, but it's something that I want to learn. So I'm guessing E1 at the beginning, G1 here. Just ridiculous stuff. And it obviously had some post-production to give it that echoey vibe, because although I wouldn't shock me if Jeff could do that, it just sounded like it was a lot of post-production stuff there. So let's listen to it one more time and then we'll move forward.
With good oars, sail to distant shores.
Stand up on the prow. Noble born guy steer. Steady, steady, course to the haven. You many foemen. You many foemen.
Love that at the end. But I want to talk about Lane here. Lane doing a lot of work with his vocal percussion here, and it's kind of going a little unnoticed, but he's doing some really fun and interesting things. So we're going to go back about 15 seconds so we can listen to that. Really pay attention to the vocal percussion, and he's doing a lot of things like he's going... He's doing a lot of 16th note hi-hat sounds, which are really hard to maintain at a good like really difficult to maintain unless you've been practicing them for a long time or you're skilled as Lane is. Like even there, mine weren't exactly in a perfect tempo, but like really, really interesting stuff. So let's pay attention to what Lane's doing here on the vocal percussion side, and then we'll move forward through the 15 seconds that we skipped here.
Stand up on the prow. Noble born guy steer. Steady, steady, course to the haven. You many foemen. You many foemen.
Yeah, so he's just doing a lot with 16th note hi-hat type rhythms with different accents on different 16th notes and stuff like that, while also doing the really heavy kick and then the really heavy, almost clap sounding snare that's kind of being maintained with the whole thing at the beginning where they were like the slam, slam, clap on the table type thing. Kind of maintaining in with that. Really, really nice. I love that they continue to do that. Really, really nice. That little God, I'm forgetting what it's called. It's not 16th notes. It's quarter note triplet. That's what it is. Yeah. Machine almost like there in that regard. Little bass note there at the end. Again. And they all turn their backs at the end. Many different possibilities for that. It just kind of signaled the end. There are some theories out there that if a Viking turned his back on you, he wasn't afraid of you. And basically it was a sign of disrespect. There's some theories about that culturally. don't know if it's something that's been maintained or kept up with in that time, but uh, overall, just really, really cool stuff. Really enjoyed this video. Really enjoyed this song. So many different ways that you can do the song itself. VoicePlay took it into a sort of traditional acapella, into like a weird like pop rap dub, not almost like a weird trap version in a way. Kind of odd, but like it's weird. It's like they did a traditional acapella into what I just described as the VoicePlay style. Like it's just uniquely theirs, and that's something that no other acapella group has. Whereas like Peyton Parrish and his version is very much like a heavy metal or heavy rock type version, still very, very good. And Peyton's an amazing singer, and I will probably cover some videos of his. And Peyton's a real showman too, which is fun. So overall, just really love and enjoy the way that VoicePlay approached this, and the video and the costuming is all just very, very cool. So that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to like, share, subscribe. It does help out a lot. I hate saying it. I know you guys hate hearing it, but it is there for me to say, and it does help. It really does help. I'm trying to kind of grow this channel as a side hobby project into something that I hope people really enjoy. I just want to bring happiness to the world, and this is what I feel like is my way to do it. So until the next video, all, I hope you all stay safe. I hope you're all enjoying yourself. You're having fun. You're listening to good music, and I will see you all in the next video.